What's up, everyone? Welcome back with another video. This is another sales call breakdown. Okay, this one is a little bit different. So obviously, as you guys all know, I have built a multiple six-figure online fitness coaching company, and now at the moment I'm helping other online fitness coaches scale, right? I see more and more fitness coaches struggling with charging higher prices and actually closing on calls and with sales processes. So I decided to do a series of videos where I break down my in-depth sales calls. Okay, so this sales call is a little bit different than before. Okay, the ones that I did so far were all first-time clients, right? People who have never worked with me, and I closed them, right, for the program for $3,000. At the time of this sales call, I was selling for $2,500, if I'm not wrong. And this one of our clients actually did our program, right? So this will more be a client retention video. Okay, so you will be able to learn a lot about how to retain clients. Okay, how to continue getting clients to pay every 3 months when when the program finished, right? Even if they achieve results. This one is particularly hard, so this is going to be a treat because it was a pretty tough close. Okay, so this one of our clients has been working together with us for 2 rounds, or this for 6 months. And in the first 3 months, he got amazing results. He lost around 30 pounds. In the second 3 months, he was kind of messing around. He didn't really execute, no matter how hard we tried, and he didn't really get the results that he wanted. And after this, I jumped on the call and I decided that I know that the best for him is if he continues with the program. Obviously, that's how he can lose more weight. And this is what this call is about. The second 3 month finished. We jumped on a summary call, and obviously I worked on upselling him, right, to continue the program with a new plan, with a new structure. At this stage of the call, I already explained what we have in store for him, how we would correct the mistakes that he did in the previous 3 months, and how we are actually going to start getting results. And basically, that's where we are. So let's look into it. If you have problem with client retention, okay, first of all, a couple of first tips. First of all, client retention call, right? You should close people for a certain period, 3 to 4 months, right? And as soon as that's finished, you jump on a call, you do a summary of the program, right? Maybe you do a client interview with them, but right after you need to get into a proper sales call, right? We call it client retention call, but that needs to be a sales call exactly as much as every other first call that you do with someone, because you want this person to stay on board and again pay you a certain amount up front, right? So Jeff here paid us $2,500 upfront, and this is what I'm going to show you. So that's kind of our idea. I would like to hear your thoughts, and just what do you think of the whole, continuing working with us, all of that.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think I need a break for a little while, because I also kind of have a complicated end of the year. There's some more travel and stuff, so I don't need a. I mean, I'm going to keep trying to maintain and work on stuff, but I think I'd rather get have a bit of a break and start up again early in the year, and maybe have gotten a little better at some of the.
As you can see, he was really hesitant because he lost trust in himself that he can execute on a program, right? Basically, he was giving me a no, just in a different way.
Habits I need before I crank up again. So that's, I mean, part of me says need to keep going, or you're going to lose the continuation, but I just kind of need to. I don't feel super ready to start a good effort again. is what I'm saying.
Okay. No, got it, Jeff. 100%. Obviously, I know that Jeff can still get results. I know what's the best for him. The best for him is if he stays in the program, and that's how he can actually change his life and get results, right? So I'm not going to let it go. I understand, right? What I want to also understand is, so you don't feel exactly ready in terms of time or energy, or do you feel like you've been going so hard for 6 months and you just need to take, or what do you mean by that exactly? Right, I start asking questions. Classic objection handling, I get into objection handling immediately, right? And I start digging deeper, start asking questions about what's up with Jeff.
Yeah, kind of time and energy. I can think of a lot of things, like I can work a bit on the planning. I don't know how much I can do that. I can work more towards doing some meal prep and things like that. But I,
This is a good thing because he can't really give a strong reason, right? What the problem is. So he just by asking the question, he started thinking about, okay, I don't know.
I don't feel like I can do the whole program very well right away because again, I've got travel. Uh, so I kind of need to get mentally prepared again. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. When a prospect gives you reasons like, I kind of need to travel, I kind of need to get mentally prepared, I don't think that I'm kind of ready, right? All of these things, never take it seriously. You need to dig deeper. You need to understand what the problem is, right? Most probably, the real objection here is that the prospect doesn't trust themselves that they can actually, if they continue with the program, right? Or if it's a first time call, if they jump into the program, that they will stick with it, right? So that's most probably the problem if a prospect says things like that, and that was the case with Jeff.
And just maybe take little pieces of it and work on them. But I mean, I think that's kind of what. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of mentally prepared when we started and stayed through it. I need to kind of think about what went wrong and sort of address it one piece at a time. And I don't really want to spend any more money on it this year.
Right? Again, I don't really want to spend any more money, right? People are willing to spend on something that they need, okay? So never buy these excuses. You need to find the real objection.
To be honest, because
Okay.
but yeah, I think just kind of like to address some of my issues and then start with a fresh outlook in a little while.
Right? Also, whenever someone tells you that I will start in a month, I will start in 2 weeks, I will start next year, right? That's just a way of kind of selling you on the idea that you don't need to close here on the call. Right now, with the client retention call, that's even more difficult because you already trust each other, right? You know the person, you probably form the kind of friendship with them. But nonetheless, also when you're trying to upsell a client, you should never buy these things, okay? People, if they know that they need something, they will make decisions right there on the spot, okay? Nothing will change in 2 weeks, nothing will change in 1 month, right? The only thing that can happen is that they just sabotage themselves even more, right? So don't let them believe this kind of stuff, right? Don't buy this kind of stuff, okay? Dig deeper, solve the objection. Okay, no, got it, 100%. You also mentioned, and look, I got it, 100%. Always agree, okay? Never go against the prospect. Always say, that's good, great, I understand, no problem, right? Understand where you're coming from, right? You've been working hard for 6 months, okay? And everybody needs a little bit of a break, which I understand. So everybody needs that. Now, on the other hand, you also mentioned a bit of the, not wanting to spend that much, this year. So what I'm going to do now is figure out what the real objection is, right? He mentioned the money. He also mentioned that he's not sure that he's ready. So there are multiple possible objections. One being that he doesn't trust himself, right? Which is not a financial based objection. So that's, if there is something like that, I need to solve that 100% because no matter how much I talk about the price and the money side of things, if he has something else, right? You can't figure out a payment plan that will magically help him get into the program, right? And the other is the price. He mentioned the money multiple times. So now I need to identify which is the real objection here. So just a quick question. Let's say that you would feel mentally ready. Let's say that you would know that, okay, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to be able to do it. And I'm going to lose another 25 pounds inside the next 12 weeks. If you knew that that's going to happen, you was 100% certain right now, would then the finances would be an issue? Or if you knew that you're going to get the results, you would be able to spend on it? So you see what I did there, right? Like I literally separated the two possible objections, right? And you can use this the exact same way. I literally asked, okay, but if you would be sure that you get the results, 100% sure, you see the future, you got the results, and you know this right at this moment that if you pay the 2.5K, you would get the results, would the money still be a problem? In most cases, it wouldn't be, right? In most cases, the money is never the problem. It's a very small amount of cases where the money is actually a problem, as long as you are sitting in front of the right lead, if it's a qualified lead, right? So that's why I asked this question.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not. I guess the finances are not too big of an issue, but
there it is, right? I know Jeff, right? I know that he has a good job, right? I know that he has a stable job. So finances is probably not going to be an issue. Most of the times it's not.
It's just the mental sort of preparedness that I mean, I feel I'm going to be a bit overwhelmed really for the next month or so. And so I can be fairly good, but then probably maintain.
Next few months, not ready mentally, could be fairly good, probably, right? It's getting extremely clear that what he doesn't trust is himself. He's not 100% sure that he will execute this time. Well, obviously, because the second 3 months, it was a problem where he couldn't execute because he wasn't too focused on the program, right? So obviously, he has this limiting belief. Now, this is what we need to solve.
But I'm not sure I'm going to get a lot of results over that time period. But I can also kind of, because yeah, I mean, when the last 12 weeks weren't too bad, and I'm happy I maintained, but you know, sort of if you're not mentally up for it and you sort of reinforce failing, you know.
He said a huge keyword here, okay? He reinforced failing, right? He has a very big sense of failing, right? Because of the last 12 weeks with us, he kind of wasted in a certain sense, right? And he has this lack of confidence. And I am there as the expert who needs to put the confidence back into his client, right? Because I know that if he quits the program, things are only going to be worse. So the best thing for him to do, as long as he has the money, which he has, right? There's not going to be any danger financially, is if I keep him in the program and we fix the issues and we transform him even more.
It wasn't really a success, you know. So I got to figure out how to get my attitudes back to be serious enough about it. You know, it's one thing to say, "Oh, this is important to me." It's another thing to, you know, really act on it. And so, yeah, I mean, I think again, I'm traveling a lot for the rest of the year. That's going to be difficult, but
see how his head is like just working on excuses, right? What you need to do is see through the excuses, just tie down the real objection, right? And then solve that one.
It's going to be practice for getting better at it. I mean, yeah. I mean, the finances are not that big of an issue, but like, you know, I kind of want to get my money's worth next time, and you guys did your job, but I failed.
He obviously knows that we did our part, right? It was him who didn't actually execute on it, right, as well as he wanted to. Okay, so we need to fix that.
Get my money's worth by not really doing the program. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Okay, no. Look, Jeff, I get that 100%. Okay, obviously everybody wants to see the results in terms of what he invested. Okay, so just a quick question, because you mentioned you're going to travel a lot. You mentioned that you need to get ready in terms of your headspace, just your overall mindset, which is true. I think you should feel ready if you want to do it again, right? I think you should be ready if you want to do it again. But I agree with him, right? He said a lot of true things, right? So why wouldn't I agree with him? And also never go against a prospect. I will say it 100 other times, right? It makes no sense. Sales doesn't work if you trying to force something on someone. All you can do is have them make the right decision as the expert in that conversation. Is there so the concern is basically, let's say that you get into the program and you're not getting the results again? Is that what you're worried about a little bit in this period? Questions, clarifying the real issue. If there are a billion issues, you can solve it, right? You need to ask enough questions so you can have the one main objection, you tie down on that one main objection, and that's the one that you can solve it, and that's how you close.
Yeah, and right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically, I paused, right? I didn't start talking immediately. I paused because I saw that he was thinking, right? I left space for him to explain a little bit more, right? Always use pauses, right? You don't need to talk a lot. I'm generally speaking, it's a big mistake that I do usually on sales calls. I love to talk a lot, right? Sometimes I talk over the prospect and stuff like this. Like I generally still to this day need to train myself not to do that. Make sure that you do the same.
I'm not getting the results because I just don't have my head together.
Okay,
You know,
no,
not
I
because
understand. I understand.
right.
So you're a little bit afraid that the same thing would happen because you're going to travel. Okay, so let's say if you knew that, okay, even if you don't feel 100% ready, but you would still get the results because, look, right? I'm tying down, I'm going back to the same question, right? Just in a little bit of a different way because at the end of the day, the real question is here. Okay, but if you would be sure that you get the results, would you jump in right now? As soon as he says yes to that, you can handle the objection. Now you would probably know that what you messed up before, but it's just a hypothetical situation. Okay, so whether if you get in or not, that's completely your decision. I just want to. I took pressure off, right? He doesn't need to get in. I just advise him as the expert that this would be the best course of action to take, in my opinion. Ask you the question. Let's say right now you knew 12 weeks ahead you're gonna get the results. You got in. No matter how much you travel, you actually got the results, right? If you knew that, 100%, you knew that, would you then continue even though you don't exactly feel ready at the moment?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
You see, so obviously Jeff wants to continue, right? You are doing the prospect a favor when you're handling excuses and concerns, right? Because you can't help someone if they are not in your program. So you're doing them a favor. It's not even for you. Obviously, us as business owners, we want cash flow, we want, cash up front, right? We want multiple clients, we want to become wealthy from this. But in terms of closing, also you are here to help people, and the best salesmen are the people who are also the best coaches most of the times, because all a sales call is just a coaching call, right? That's goal is to get the result of them jumping into the program. Got it. So just a big question here. So you don't feel that you would get the results, you're not 100% certain that you would get the results this time in this 12 weeks because you failed in the last 12 weeks, or because you're going to travel a lot, or what is the main issue here? Why do you, right? Now I know the main objection. Now we need to dig a little bit deeper in terms of the main objection, make sure that we understand why he thinks that he wouldn't get the results this time. Is it because he had a bad experience the last time, right? Is it because he's going to travel, right? So I need to dig deeper. You fear that you wouldn't get the results. So why are you not ready mentally?
Yeah. Again, I've got this sort of very busy, high pressure work situation for the rest of the year. Yeah, but that's a good question. Let me think about that a little bit more.
If you see a prospect thinking after a question like I don't like, you never let go. You are close to the, you are on the right way to close. Okay, because the main thing is in asking questions is not even just to understand the concern, right? But the main thing in asking questions, through asking questions, the prospect is going to solve his own objection in his mind, right? If someone wants in, you ask the right questions, they solve it in their own mind, and then you can even push it down with even solving it for them, right? But like Jeff at the moment is like, can't find a true big answer why he shouldn't continue, right? He just has this feeling, but he can't logically explain it, like not at least not extremely convincingly. Sure, take your time. Gave him comfort, right? Take your time. You can think as much as you want.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of, I guess I would say I've been lazy for the last several weeks to some extent, you know, and as far as the program goes, and I wish I were, I had trouble getting back into exercise for quite a long time, and that's, I think, critical for me. So,
And what do you think should happen? So he already mentioned the exercise, right? So what he kind of figured out is probably the reason was because he was skipping exercise, so the whole, the whole building collapsed because of that, right? So we are getting closer to the deepest objection, the deepest technical concern. Okay. Now the next question is, what do you think would have needed to happen in order for you to be able to exercise, right? Stuff like that. So again, I'm asking a question where he would need to give me the answer, the solution to his own problem. Happen in these 12 weeks for you to make the same mistakes?
Yeah, well, I think it's down to planning. I know now I need to like
You see, he's starting, right? He's going to give me the solutions, right?
be very careful about planning and make sure. And I didn't do that those weeks. I got to start exercising again. And those really shouldn't detract that much from other things, but I just don't know I don't know what's changed that's going to make me suddenly be good at it again, unless so, maybe we could do it, but
maybe we could do it, right? So he's getting more and more convinced, right? The buyer security is raising up, right? The more he thinks about it, the more it doesn't make sense for him to not continue, right? So it's like we are basically on the right track.
I'm just kind of afraid of, I guess, in the back of my mind, I'm afraid of like repeating that same 12 weeks.
No, that's 100% understandable.
Yeah, how do I, what is it I need to change to not have that happen again? So, am I able to do it right now? That's the deal.
Yeah. So this is what we need to answer. And I understand because, theoretically, there wasn't that much different in these 12 weeks. But then I would ask you, right? I would ask you this question. So why do you think you succeeded in the first 12 weeks? And what is different? What would be different in these 12 weeks? If you really do the same as the first weeks, why do you think you succeeded?
Yeah.
Right? This is a huge question. He already succeeded with the program, okay, already, right? So why does like just because in the 12 weeks was crazy chaotic for him, right? Why wouldn't he be able to succeed in the next 12 weeks? There is no reason. He already succeeded with us, right? So now he needs to answer that. It's a very strong question.
Let's
You see, thinking. When you see a prospect thinking, you need to go ahead, right? Like you're on your way to close.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to answer.
Sure, it's not that easy. By the way, Jeff is an absolute champion. He was one of our favorite clients. Like he literally crushed it the next 5 weeks that we did it together. But anyways, let's continue with the call.
I mean, I like one answer is because I actually did the program pretty religiously, right?
yeah. But that's the why, right? So why
right. Why did I was more successful? I think I was, a bit more desperate. Thinking.
Okay, so basically, what I understand, on that is basically you got good results. It felt really,
right.
It felt really comfortable, right? So it's really good. You got huge success, and that kind of got you in terms of your mindset, kind of comfortable with the results that you got. Even though you want to continue getting them, it's easy to take things easy once you see success, so to speak, easier because losing 25 pounds in 5 weeks, that's easy. But let me tell you what I think would be the difference. And I think this can be a game changer here. Right? Now I can start talking a little bit. I understood really well, right? The exact fears, the exact problems. I asked really strong questions. He's thinking. He basically gave me the answers of what I would need to tell him, right? How I need to solve this objection. So now I just need to basically, obviously, explain that. You did another 12 weeks. Let's be honest, okay? Yeah, maintenance is good, but probably the fact that you didn't get more results, right? And probably the fact that you felt like you didn't execute, it didn't feel too damn good, right? So would you want to feel like that again? Would you want to feel like you're not executing again?
Yeah, obviously not. No. So,
Right? So,
um,
look, you already have the bad experience. Even when you start to explain the solution, always ask questions here and there. Because if you start going on this crazy rant when you're solving objections, right, people just zoom out. You talk for 5 minutes straight, people zoom out. Okay. And again, this is a huge problem for me, right? Like, this is something that I still need to train my mind on, not to talk too much, not to over talk for the prospect, right? Let them also think, ask more questions, right? Still to this day. Experience. You already have the bad experience of not executing. And you also can compare that amazing experience of executing and seeing all the results or even better results that you would have ever imagined. Now you have the bad, you have the good, you have the experience. And everybody, especially in weight loss, trust me, everybody goes through this. Okay. Even me, for example, with my fighting career, cutting weight, all of that, I went through this multiple times. Everybody goes through this, right? The good and the bad. But once you experience the bad, because you know how much it sucks, that is going to be the drive for the next round. That is going to be the drive that is going to be behind you. If you pay attention to what I'm doing here, he literally gave me what I would need to say, right? He said that he succeeded in the first 12 weeks with us because he was more desperate, right? Then he got comfortable, and that's why I didn't succeed in the second 12 weeks. So now I'm basically explaining that because he didn't succeed in the second 12 weeks, if he invests into this program again, right, he will have the same desperation and hunger to prove himself right after an unsuccessful 12 weeks that he can still do this, right? I literally telling him that the desperation is again going to be there, but also the positive experience of the first 12 weeks is going to be there. So probably this is going to be the best, absolute bestest round that he has ever done with us. And that was actually true. So everything that I'm saying here is true. You cannot fool anyone on the sales call. You just need to be the expert and actually have them see what they have in front of them. It's going to push you. First of all, you have the experience of knowing, okay, so this is happening again. I need to focus it a bit on planning. Okay, this is happening again. I need to kind of still focus it more, right? So you know where the pitfalls are. They are not unknown anymore. And at the same time, you know that if you do focus, the bad experience is not going to be there, but the amazing experience is going to be there at the end. So you are afraid a little bit that you wouldn't be able to execute in 12 weeks. I would say, 100% honesty, is that these 12 weeks where you didn't exactly succeed, long term is going to help you. Long term is this is the experience that's going to make you actually reach down to your absolute ideal. I push on it even more, right? And this is also actually true, but I'm basically turning the failure of his program right into something positive, where it wasn't actually a fail, it was a huge win because he experienced a lot and now he has all that experience, he has the hunger, he has the positive experience before, right? Now he can really nail it. And that was the truth. Way that you absolutely won because you already experienced it. So in the next 12 weeks, I would say that you're going to execute better than the first 5 weeks. In the first 5 weeks, you didn't even know if this is working, right? So you got into the program, you kind of guessed that it would be working, but you was in the unknown. But now you know that if you actually execute on it, it is going to work. And I think that's a huge mindset shift. But also at the same time, I believe if you don't continue now in the 12 weeks and you kind of stay here, just, going around, not going with straight direction, yeah, it's easiest to stay exactly where you was in the past 12 weeks. And this is why me as a coach, I honestly believe that I explained that the only bad decision that he can make is not going ahead with our program, right? And this is again true, right? Like if he's just going to stay in that unmotivated state. He's telling himself all these silly excuses like, oh, maybe when I'm ready, when I'm ready, when I'm ready. Like you're never going to be more ready than right now. So let's just get these silly thoughts out of your head. Let's continue and let's start crushing it, right? That's basically what I'm saying. The best thing for you now, Jeff, even if you're afraid a little bit that the same thing happens and you would be disappointed, that little fear that you have, put that aside. Let's continue for another 12 weeks. And both me, I want to prove it to you, and also I want you to prove it to yourself that, yeah, I lose another 25 pounds. I think that's going to be a very powerful experience. And after you lose another 25 pounds, under 200, man, it's easy. Under 200, you lost 50 pounds in like a couple of months. Okay, so you're not late with this. 6 months is not late. Okay, another 3 months is not late. You lose another 25 pounds, whatever happens, that's going to be life changing. And you're going to get happier. So, honestly, if you think of this. Again, I saw the transformation, right? Like, I painted his hell state if he doesn't continue, which is true, he will just stay on the level where he's at. And then I painted his dream state of losing another 25 pounds, not needing to worry, easy to maintain, right? and basically this is how you sell the transformation. Now that you know the bad experience, now that you know the good experience, do you feel like there would be any chance if you invest again, if you hold you accountable again, you know the pitfalls, that you would make the exact same mistakes? Do you think that that could happen?
Well, it could, but because they were mistakes, right? It's not like I didn't know I was doing it. So, but yeah, I see your point. I guess right at the moment I feel a bit overwhelmed, but maybe if so, I wouldn't mind committing to another 12 weeks. It's just I think I need a week or two.
Okay, now he needs a week or two, right? Now this is like, this is just, I'm sorry, but this is just bullshit, right? I'm not calling Jeff a bullshitter. He's an absolutely sound guy, right? Like he's like a champion. But like, you know, in the beginning, like maybe next year we'll start, right? And now when we talk this through, and I know the real objection and we are solving the objection, like he still kind of like just wants to somehow escape the hard decision of improvement, and like, okay, I just need 1 or 2 weeks now, right? Whenever someone says that, you never let them go on a sales call because you're getting close to a close. Okay, yeah, no problem. Look, Jeff,
get my head right. So
no problem.
um, yeah, so give me a couple of days to think about it. But
now a couple of days.
You're talking me into it.
Okay, so when you get these things from a prospect, like you never stop. You just go on. You go on.
You're making a very good argument.
Obviously,
and that's one of the things why it gives me confidence in you, because you know that the salesmanship actually helps.
You see, good sales is not something that people don't like. Okay, good sales, it shouldn't be even called sales. It's literally coaching. This is what good coaching is like as well, right? I'm literally coaching Jeff right now. I'm literally helping him overcome limiting beliefs about his progress, and I help him continue on his path. This is what a good coach does. When you do good sales, people will be absolutely grateful for that, right? So never think that this is something pushy. Never think that you're bothering people. If you do it wrong, you're bothering people. If you do it well, people will be extremely grateful for you, and they will actually thank you with a huge paycheck.
Because you're making a very good argument. And I know the right thing to do is stick with it and get finished. I just want to get my head together a little bit. I
understand, Jeff. And look, obviously, I'm kind of, as you mentioned, talking you into it, right? Because I genuinely think that this would be the good thing to do. See, you're not doing it for yourself, and it's true you're not doing it for yourself. You have loads of other calls, right? Loads of other clients, right? You can always get a new client. The main thing is that I've been working with Jeff, and I would have hated to see that he doesn't continue on this path, right? Now, obviously, on the real side of things, right? Also, like as a business owner, a new close is always good, but this is not the mindset you should come from, because we are here to help people. Okay, so I obviously genuinely think that I would want to continue working with you. But let me ask you this question, okay? So you said that now you was honest. I think that was a very honest thing that you said. You know that the good thing would be if you stick with it. Because just that you messed up on 12 weeks doesn't mean that you cannot get the results the next 12 weeks. You know that you have the experience. You know that where the pitfalls are. You know that, look, it's almost certain that you're going to execute this time. And I know this because obviously I've been coaching you, right? And obviously I've seen this multiple times before. So if you know that this would be the right thing, if you know that sticking with it would be the right thing, like what would thinking a couple of days change? You know, I understand you need to get to huge question, right? Nobody will answer this. Nobody will be able to answer. Like honestly, people know that when they are bullshitting someone, right? You as an expert, your job is not let your client or prospect bullshit you. That's why you're there on that call, right? If you go to a doctor and let's say you go to a dentist, and the dentist will tell you that, yep, we need to remove that tooth, right? And because you're scared that it's gonna hurt, right? Even though it hurts now, right? And it's going to be a way worse thing if you don't get that removed, if you don't listen to your dentist. It's going to be way worse. You just need to go through that initial pain of removing the tooth. You're probably going to come up with loads of excuses, right? Don't touch the teeth, it's good, it doesn't hurt that much. Can I kind of come back for a next appointment because I don't know, I need to prepare myself, right? Like, imagine what kind of a dentist that would be who doesn't actually tell you, no, you need this right now. I am the expert. Okay, we sit down, we remove the tooth, and you're going to be pain free for the years to come, right? That tooth is never going to be bothering you again, right? This is your job as an expert. Together, your thoughts, all of that, 100% I understand. But at the same time, I think both you and me know that thinking, rationalizing, over rationalizing, overthinking only leads to inaction, which can then result in maybe making a bad decision, maybe, just overthinking something. But if right now, when you know right now that this is the best thing to do for yourself, is to stick with it. Look, I say we should go through it. You should really put your effort into these 12 weeks. Okay, I guarantee you're going to execute. We're going to do everything in our power. We are going to hold you accountable more strictly. We can jump on more calls. We're going to pay extra attention to you, 120. Giving solutions, right? I'm calming him down. Like I'm also going to give even 200% to this because I really want to see him succeed. Percent to make sure that you're going to get the return on your investments in terms of your results as well. So look, Jeff, I say that we should continue. That's my honest thoughts.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess it's so. Yeah, I think you're right, but
see, thinking, right? You can't fool anyone. Okay, the person will always know what's the best for him. You just need to help him make that decision.
it should be a little bit better this go around, even though I think it was especially difficult that last 12 weeks, and that's getting a little bit better. So, it's worth a try. The worst case scenario is that
I'm just waiting, right? I'm allowing him to think this through. We are not rushing anything.
is I break even again. So, and the worst case scenario, if I don't try to do anything, is probably way worse.
Right? The best case scenario is a sales strategy that usually salespeople do. But asking the right questions and saying the right statements, I basically made Jeff think it through, like doing the worst case, best case scenario routine in his own head, right? Worst case scenario, best case scenario, right?
Worse than that. So, yeah, let's do another 12 weeks.
Okay. Perfect. And that is the close, okay? So this was it, right? Jeff paid another 2,500 USDs all up front, okay, for another 12 weeks. He absolutely crushed it in that program, okay? So obviously he was extremely grateful that I didn't let him go. And you should understand this. So major takeaways from this. First of all, you need to do upsell calls, okay? Client retention calls. Close people for a certain period, not per month, okay? You close people per end result, right? Once you did that, whether if they got the best results, whether if they didn't get extremely good results, right? Because for whatever reason, people didn't execute as well, still do the client retention call, okay? You want the best for your clients, so make sure that you are working on retaining them. And yeah, at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway is sales is about understanding where a person is coming from, helping them solve their own excuses and concerns in their mind, and making sure that you help them make a good decision. It's not about pushing, it's not about forcing, it's not about shouting with someone, okay? Like what you see in movies, The Wolf of Wall Street, that shit doesn't work, okay? You don't shout at someone on the phone, right? You help them make a good decision, you build trust, and then you're just the expert figure there, and you just have them make a good decision. Okay, so look, if you like the sales call breakdowns, make sure that you check out all of our other YouTube videos as well. Okay, it's not just sales that we teach, obviously we build six-figure companies for different online fitness coaches, right? We quite literally have an implementation program, everything from getting leads, getting at least 4 to 5 calls every single day, actually closing those calls, actually fulfilling the clients, doing this in an automatized way, so you don't need to send messages, you don't need to worry about any of that stuff, right? So basically, if you like this, right, and you want to start making $10,000 minimum every single month and start closing $3, $4, $5,000 deals every single time, right? Make sure that you check out my Instagram. Text me on Instagram. We actually have our full sales script as a document, okay, that I use for every single sales call. This is why I can close this effectively. Send me a message on Instagram and I will send that over to you, okay? So you can also copy it. You can formulate it on your own sales pitch. And yep, thank you very much. See you in the next video.